Guys, Shadow Rockstar here. Got another Star Realms replay, and we've got a pretty epic game. Gotta say, I've been playing some incredibly epic games recently, and here's another one. Let's take a look on how it goes. And we're playing Unstoppable. So, right off the bat, I like this decision. Even though 3 trade here, maybe want to go Needlelancer, just because I think that card is so fucking good. Going Swarmer, Spike Pod, Unity Fighter with your first 3 cards. Primo, primo, primo. God, it's like freaking spaghetti. It's so good. It's just so good. It's so good when it hits your lips. So, I am immediately on the defensive. Immediately on the defensive. But we have 5 trade, so this is good. So some thoughts occur, right? Converter, not bad. I think that's a good play. He does have 1 red-green card, so keeping Converter away from him is probably a good idea. Maybe taking the Needlelancer away, another good idea. Don't want him to be able to combo his cards together. But you could also go Freighter Alliance Transport, go Super Healy, protect your face. You know, there's a lot of different considerations here. I end up going with the Super Healy route because, like I said, my opponent is clearly going very aggressive. So my thinking is, if I can heal up, get a lot of trade, a lot of healing, maybe I can form a base wall. Maybe I can pick up a little bit of extra damage and then, whittle him down later. There are plans, but my goal is to extend the game and to mitigate the aggressiveness that my opponent's already shown. And then he picks up that cute little Arthakobot there. So adorable, isn't he? And then gets an Explorer. So now he's got trade. Now he's got aggression. This is a good deck. He's called Unstoppable for a reason, right? Okay. So, new play. If he didn't pick up the little 1-drop Recycle Bot, I think I would have gone with Orbital Platform here. I would have given myself a better chance to draw into my healing and my trade, and it would have forced him to put more damage into the base, thereby further mitigating his damage. The problem is, though, because he has that red Scrapper, giving him the Needlelancer becomes really, really dangerous, because then he'll be able to copy a lot of allied abilities. And if he can do that, that's going to be extra punishing for me. So even though I am giving up the Orbital Platform, which is a very good card for his deck, or potentially the Converter, but I can't get the Converter, I think Needlelancer is actually the play here. +2, it's damage, and I'm keeping damage away from him, so I do think it actually mitigates his strategy more so. And we get a little lucky. He actually scraps the Orbital Platform, which means he doesn't have 3 trade here, which means he probably drew most of his attack cards together. Yeah. Oh, he did have 3 trade. Oh. That's weird. I guess he was planning on going Plague Pod all along. But, he could probably go Stellar Reef too now if he wanted to. That's a little odd. I think that's a little bit of a mistake. I think getting the Orbital Platform and putting it in his deck is better than getting rid of it. And honestly, I think he should have gotten rid of Factory World and the Converter, because those are cards that swing the game back. Those are comeback cards. And let's see, what did he get rid of again? He got rid of Capital World. He should have gotten rid of Factory World and got the Orbital Platform himself. See, and then he plays and he scraps Command Center? Why? Scrap Factory World. That's how I win. Command Center doesn't do anything for me. I've only got 1 yellow. So, I don't know. I think these are mistakes. I think these are absolutely mistakes here. Scrapping Factory World is fine. Right? Or Capital World is fine. Why not scrap Factory World? Why not scrap the converter and buy the orbital platform? I don't get it. I think he just had his eye on Plague Pod the whole time and was like, all right, I'm going aggro. I mean, which is fine. Like, if you want to go aggro, you go aggro, but aggro with draw is much better than just getting more aggro. So I have to pick up Star Market here. You could say, hey, get Repair Mech, right? Get some scrap. Put a base on top of your deck. Stuff like that. I don't have anything like that would be good, but I absolutely need to heal up. He's going very aggressive. So I have to do everything I can to mitigate said aggressiveness. We're gonna play a defensive game. We're gonna play the long game here. Okay, so now he scraps the converter. And then gets the Moonworm hatchling? Why not get the Burrower? Why not get more card draw? And you can scrap the Explorer and grab an Explorer if you really need to. The Moonworm hatchling doesn't actually help his deck. Yeah, it destroys target base. Yeah, he could use it to kill the Star Market, but it's also weighted. You'd rather have 5 damage in a card draw than have potentially destroy target base and potentially, if you get really lucky, deal 6 damage. You want the card draw. Yeah, I don't like this play either. See, and then he doesn't scrap. The fuck is this card called again? I can't even read it. Whatever. He doesn't scrap the little red-green blob thingy. And I don't know why. Like, don't you want to get your deck more efficient? So these are the kind of like small mistakes that don't necessarily come up unless you're like actually reviewing the game like I am. But they end up being very pivotal because what it does is it gives me more turns. And the more turns you give your opponent, the more likely it is that they're going to be able to come back on you. Especially when you're playing an opponent who's aware of what you're trying to do and is aware of comeback potential. So, picks up Burrower, finally. You know, smart, good. This is what you should be doing. So I end up picking up the Mech Cruiser. This is good. And I super duper heal up. Right, so you notice I went from 36 to 48. So 4 plus 4 here, plus 4 there, 48. And I get a Mech Cruiser. We're feeling much better now. This was a really, really lucky play for us to just get all our good cards in one hand. Good clustering. And then he scraps Factorio finally. Now when I can't get it, he scraps it. But yeah, see, this is good though. He's going more aggro. Look, he's getting more damage. This is good. I mean, this is his plan, right? Like the plan is there. He's going aggro. This should work. So I'm just doing everything I can, right? I'm healing up, and I had to freaking heal, so I only had 3 trades. So I ended up grabbing the Outland Station. Like, if I wasn't so desperate to heal up and defend, maybe Plasmabot would have been the way to go. But I don't honestly know if I am going to have time to scrap. So, Outland Station it is. Yep. And you notice this is another good play here. He scrapped a scrapper, right? So his plan was not to get the scrapper. He feels like his scrap is good enough. His plan is to get the assault pod or the lancer, probably the assault pod. And by scrapping the scrapper, it kept it away from me. So I actually like that play quite a bit. Because he's not really thinking about scrapping at this point. Like, he's thinking about just getting as much damage piled together as he possibly can. And I put Star Market on top of my deck. I grabbed the Light Cruiser, so this is good, right? We've got a few yellow cards. The Light Cruiser maybe pairs up, maybe deals 6 and draws a card. Maybe. Maybe I pick up Lancer. Maybe I pick up Frontier Fairy. Like, a yellow-blue deck is coming to fruition a little bit here. Alright. Hey, look at this. Alright, my opponent's just getting more damage, getting more damage. These are all fine purchases. Would have been nice to pick up that Predator, but I will do that instead. And then he scraps, gets the damage. Damn, see, Stellar Reef, surprisingly good. So I have to get Predator away from him, right? And I have to keep all the damage away from him. You could argue, hey, why don't you just get Patrol Cutter, or why don't you get Outland Station? And I would say to you, I don't think Outland Station was out there originally. I know it was. Um, I cannot let him get the Predator. It's just too good. It's just too good for his deck. And I grabbed the Spike Pod. That'll give me some trade row control. Oh man, destroys the Star Market. That's brutal. Oh wow. Oh wow, look at this. Damn, see? And then he draws everything together. He's not even that scrapped down, but he drew a ton of damage together. You know, this is the luck factor, and this is what is called clustering, where sometimes you get all your cards together, or sometimes you get all your scouts together, right? And so what happens is you get piles of good cards and piles of shit cards. You know, normally they'd be sort of evenly distributed between like a scout and then like two or three good cards or something like that. But he gets really lucky here. And it says that he was able to get all his good cards, a lot of his good cards together, and it really puts the pressure on. But what it does mean, though, is it gives me a window, because it means his next 3 turns probably aren't going to be that good, and he's probably not going to have a lot of damage. So I actually have a little bit of leeway here, even though he did just get a bunch of damage and shoot me in the face and bring me down to 15, right? Because my deck is so healy and because it extends the game, like, I'll be able to get through his entire deck probably. Yep, looking good. Hey, Freight Raft, look at this. The Dockin works. We've got an additional 4 healing in the hand. This is fucking great. All right, we're doing all right. And this is good. Scraps the Battle Barge, scraps Trollbot. He knows Battle Barge would be excellent in my deck. He's getting rid of Scrappers. All good plays. I like I said, I like most of what Unstoppable is doing here. Like, most of the plays are good, but like a few inefficiencies and a few mistakes here or there, right? We'll see if it actually makes a difference. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. Yep. Gets every single ounce of damage he possibly can. I heal up. Alright, now notice. If we can live, we might be able to come back and just kill him in a couple of turns. And remember, these next 2 turns aren't going to be that good. Gets rid of Peacekeeper. Smart, smart. Oh, look at this. We're down to 1. Oh my god. This is crazy. And we have to discard 2 cards? Holy shit. Do we lose? No. Well, you know. Alright. We healed up as much as we could. We've got no defense. I just need him to not have 10 damage. Oh no, and he cycles. Oh, he's got 9! He's got 9! Oh, we'd have been down to 1 again if he didn't have to kill that base. Alright, here we go. We got 7. We got 12, 13, 15. 15. Ah, damn it. That means we probably lost, right? Shit. Oh, we're down to 1 again! We're down to 1 again! You gotta be kidding me! Oh, and we've got 6 damage in hand. We just need to draw 4 damage. 4 damage is all we need. Let's go, baby. Let's go. High roll! Exact lethal! What? Oh, God. It feels so good. It feels so right. Oh, man. Oh, magically delicious. Yes. Wow. Okay, so where'd my opponent make mistakes? Well, there was a couple opportunities to scrap the little red-green thingy and pick up another scrap and make his deck a little more efficient, and he didn't take it. There was a couple opportunities to scrap the recycle bot to get an additional scrap, and he didn't take it. And guess what? His deck was just inefficient enough. That's it. When you're building an aggressive deck, when you're building a damage deck, you gotta take those opportunities to scrap, right? You have to take those opportunities to draw. Orbital Platform is super strong, especially in the early game, because a lot of times it gives you that extra draw that you need to scrap something out, or that extra draw you need to get that one big card, to get another like really solid card. You know, you toss a Viper, you get a Scout. It's like scrapping for one turn, like, and you get a card draw out of it. So it's really good. Like, there were a lot of chances for him to make his deck like a little bit more efficient, and he didn't take it. And he brought me down to one twice. You know, could have been three times if he didn't decide to kill the Star Market. Every decision matters, right? Every point of damage matters. So here's another thing, right? If he shot me in the face instead of killing the Star Market, he would have won. Star Market is 6 damage to kill, but I only heal for 5 if it goes off. So it's actually better in that case to shoot me in the face, which would have given him that 1 extra damage. Every decision is important. And if you make a couple of errors, that's the difference in games like this, especially against a player who knew exactly what he was trying to do. Now, I got very lucky that it worked. I got very lucky that I pulled it off. There were several times where I was just like, whoa, you know, I need him to draw bad, or draw just bad enough, which he did. Here's the thing. I'm not saying he would have won, but if his deck was more efficient, the likelihood of him winning would have gone way up. And he probably would have gotten that last little bit of damage in. But he didn't. And I needed him not to do that, right? Like, I needed him to have a couple of bad turns. I got lucky in a sense that all of his damage was piled up into one turn. So then the next next 3 turns actually were going to be like really inefficient. And I got lucky. I got very lucky. He didn't top deck 1 additional damage. I got really lucky that, you know, he had that turn where everything clustered together, and then I was able to rebuild and heal up just enough and do just enough damage to him. I got lucky to get some of the cards that I did. Absolutely, you got to be lucky to come back from a game like this. Most of the time, I'd say a solid 60 to 65% of the time, you know, Unstoppable just wins. He just has enough aggro and has enough damage, and he takes me down. But, you know, I played the percentages, I played the odds, and I knew right away if I was going to win this game, I was going to win it because I healed up and I played defensively and I whittled them down with other damage. And it worked. And it worked. So, pretty proud of myself for this one, but I also realize how lucky I got. But this is a viable strategy for beating aggro. But it doesn't always work, because aggro is a really good, time-tested, strong strategy. You're going to win most of your games that way. If you just go aggro every time, you can get a 55-60% win percentage. Maybe not 60, but it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. It really depends on the sets that you play to determine if you can beat it or not. Especially like if it's in vanilla. Like, it's really hard to come back in vanilla if you just go aggro every time. Whereas like other sets give you more, make more strategies more viable, and so aggro is like the way to go most of the time, but you got to recognize when your opponent has figured you out, because that's the biggest drawback about aggro is that it's easy to see what's going on. It's easy to see, okay, my opponent is going aggro, so what the hell am I going to do? Right? How am I going to stop it? Well, then every play that you make can be trying to stop aggro, right? You have one job. Like, he's going aggro, I got to stop aggro. It's not like your opponent is like, laying in the weeds and like picking up a card here, a card there, and you're just like, okay, what is he trying to do? Like, what's his plan? And then that can often lead to you having a ill-formed, underdeveloped plan, and then your opponent like buys two things, and then all of a sudden his plan becomes clear, and you're like, oh fuck! But then it's too late for you to react to it because you haven't reacted to it up until this point. Whereas with aggro, you know what's happening right away, and then you can say, okay, he's going aggro, boom, buy all the heals, buy all the bases, buy all the protection, get just enough damage to whittle him down and kill him. Like that's the plan. The plan is clear. The plan is there, and so aggro works because it's just hard to stop, right? Even if you play a defensive strategy against it, it oftentimes doesn't work. You are picking your poison in terms of like, you know, any strategy that you employ probably doesn't have a positive win percentage. But it worked out this time. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. See y'all later.